There's a lot of concern out there about deepfakes, about AI generated art of a variety of forms, and we already know some forms of that takes place on the internet. There is deepfake pornography, which is the vast majority of the case, non-consensual sexual depictions of people, as well as the new influx of this sort of deepfaked art being put into political advertisements. Now, there's been a lot of talk about taking this seriously. One state, Minnesota, is taking it seriously. It was a nearly unanimous vote in their Senate in which they passed a bill that is going to criminalize people who non-consensually share deepfake sexual images of others and people who share deepfakes to hurt a political candidate or influence an election. The bill would allow prosecutors to charge people with up to 5 years in prison and $10,000 in fines for disseminating deepfakes. To become law, the bill must still go through a conference committee and get signed by Democratic Governor Tim Walz. That seems likely at this point, although don't take anything for granted. And bear in mind, we've already seen a ton of this. There are websites where there's tons of this sort of pornography that has already been available for years at this point. And in politics, just in January, I guess it was, President Joe Biden was on video talking about tanks. Some people doctored that to make it look like he was giving a speech that attacked transgender people. There was also that ad from the RNC attacking Joe Biden and Kamala Harris with faked images and fake news reporting and all of that. So this is not purely hypothetical, it's already out there. One state wants to do something about it. Adrienne, what do you make of it?
I think this is fantastic. They're getting out ahead of things, even though this stuff has been around for a long time. But knowing that there is a bigger push, and also that more apps are making it accessible to a wider range of people, and the technology is getting better. I really do appreciate them taking this step in advance, being somewhat proactive, knowing that AI is going to be used to wreak havoc on people's lives. And if you don't set up the penalties in advance and also enable law enforcement so that they have the resources necessary to actually pursue any kind of charges against individuals who are out there pushing out deep fakes, then what you're going to signal to other people is that that's okay. And so we need more like this.
Yeah, and both areas are so important. I mean, obviously, this sort of like faked non-consensual pornography is just devastating, obviously, for celebrities, for individuals. It has up until recently been somewhat complicated to make, but I think the expectation is that AI is going to make it trivial in the near future. So definitely something needs to be done about that. When it comes to politics, we have just started to see the beginning of it. I mean, obviously, we have fake news; those are sort of like faked articles, fake news sources, but being able to plausibly, realistically change what someone says on video, we have just seen the beginning of the damage that is going to be done from that. And you have to have laws, obviously, but even with the laws, I mean, so much of this is going to be spread. I wonder about the ability to track it all down, and it will be consumed so readily. No critical thought, no fact checking, and when the videos are fact checked afterward, like if you clarify that he was talking about tanks, not about transgender people, maybe 1 in 1,000 of the people who saw the original video will see the correction, and even they won't accept that it was fake to begin with. And so we're at the precipice of a really dangerous time for American society and American politics. Adrienne, I'm really worried. We're gonna see it in this election, and it's gonna be consequential.
I agree. I think it's going to come to a point where people are not going to be able to trust what they're reading or seeing. Well, you already can't trust what you really read, but also what you're seeing. And so we're going to hit a particular point where people realize, hey, I just can't trust this, so I'm not going to make a decision either way. But I can see it being extremely harmful, and people are going to weaponize it against other people, because this can throw you off if you are maybe competing with another colleague for a particular raise or something like that. And one colleague decides, hey, I'm gonna make an AI video that is unsavory about this person. And then the controversy, and all of a sudden that person's out of the running. I really see people doing all sorts of disgusting things so that they can come up.
Yeah, it could be something sexual. It could just be you on video bad mouthing the company or something like that. This could be used in a ton of different ways. I mean, everyone watching this needs to be ready. You are gonna see a video come out of Biden, maybe it'll probably be Biden first, but eventually Bernie Sanders and AOC and Ilhan Omar, and it'll be them saying something that they obviously didn't say. It will be obvious that it's fake, and you will hear right wingers referencing it, regardless of how many times it's fact checked, for years. they're gonna make something of Ilhan Omar. Oh my God, are they gonna target her as well? And you are gonna have to be playing defense on that for a very long time. So everyone needs to gird yourself against the AI wars to come.
Check out the Damage Report podcast each day, wherever you get your podcasts, whether Pocket Casts or Stitcher or iTunes. You can join me as I give you the news and stories you want, with a range of co-hosts and interview guests jumping in on the fun each day. Again, that's the Damage Report, wherever you get your podcasts. And if you get them at iTunes, don't forget to rate and review. Sometimes I'll read them live on the show.